They said he would never walk again. But see, for this young man, this was just the beginning of his story of hope. I want you to try to imagine something. You're only 8 years old. You're laying in a hospital bed. You have third-degree burns all the way up your legs. You can't even think straight. There's doctors circling around you whispering, and they're saying that amputation is the only option here. See, for most kids, including myself, that would be the end. But see, for this young boy, it was just the beginning of his story. But what happened? It was February in 1917 in a small schoolhouse in Kansas. A boy named Glen and his brother went in early to light the stove, but they didn't realize there was a mistaken switch between a bucket of water and a bucket of kerosene. And after it was lit and the explosion that followed, it ripped through the entire room. Glen's brother did not survive, but Glen did, barely. He had third-degree burns all the way up his legs. It was terrible. His legs were nearly unrecognizable. The doctors told his parents, "This boy will never walk again." Glen and his family were despondent, just like anybody would be. But they didn't give up hope and they didn't give up grace. Glen's mother would bandage him every single day. And Glen's father would slowly pick him up and bring him outside and let the sun rays hit his son. The pain, it felt and was endless. But Glen refused. He refused to listen to what the doctor said. He said, "You know what? If they say I can't walk, then fine, but I can still drag myself. I can still pull myself by my arms." So every single day, he would drag himself in the yard by his hands, his lifeless legs behind him. And he would do this every single day, minute after minute, day after day, month after month, year after year. He would eventually be able to grab the fence and move his legs forward to try to straighten himself out. And somehow, impossibly, Glen had retrained his body. He had retrained his body to stand, and then he retrained his body to walk. But more than that, he retrained his body to jog. But that's where the story gets even crazier. In high school, Glen wasn't just walking. Glen was running. In fact, Glen was outrunning everyone. Speed became the thing that was transformed from all the pain, all the suffering. He put it into running and transformed it into speed. So much so, and this is unbelievable, that in 1934, Glen broke the world record for running the mile. He ran it in 4 minutes and 6.7 seconds. In 1932 and in 1936, he ran in the Olympics. He became an Olympian. They even gave him a nickname. See, that boy who they said at 8 years old would never walk again? That boy who lost his brother in a tragedy. That boy who, even if he had to drag himself by his hands, would not be defined. That boy's name, that man's name, who went from nearly losing his life, he lost his brother, he lost the ability to walk, and drug himself for years until he retrained himself somehow by miracle to not just walk, but to run and then become a record-breaking Olympian. That story of hope is the story of Glen Cunningham, the Kansas Iron.